Hello everyone, here we are with the part 2 of the patch note review. So I realized that recording the first one, I was way too long, so I thought I might as well split into two different videos because some people don't really care about the system stuff, the battlefield stuff, they just want to see the hero changes. So two different videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the previous video. I talk about all the battlefield changes, the item changes, like the Lord will go across to the other side now if nobody attacks it. The mid crab will not spawn a little ward anymore. Amongst other things. So go check that out if you haven't already, and we'll be talking about the hero changes here. So once again, we go to the events, go to the patch notes and hero adjustments. So let's see from the designers in higher ranked games, I need water. High tier ranked games and professional matches, junglers have the biggest impact on early to mid game tempo, while EXP lane heroes rarely have standout performances. I agree. Sometimes EXP lane heroes even have to purchase defense equipment to take on the role of damage soaking to give up their resources to other teammates. Precisely what makes EXP so fucking boring right now, is you're just a second tank. We aim to give EXP lane fighters more opportunities to dominate in the mid game, while slightly reducing junglers' early game tempo and balancing creep clearing speeds among different jungler heroes. To prevent excessive disparities. Additionally, we find that healing reduction effect from equipment is currently too strong, creating a big difference in how well healing dependent heroes perform. Yes, it is. Based heavily on whether enemies purchase equipment with this effect. Therefore, we are reducing the healing reduction effect, while also adjusting heroes' equipment and skills with overly high healing to maintain balance. Finally, we've enhanced the resilience attribute to reduce the duration of airborne control effects. However, we've decreased the resilience provided by certain equipment. Due to airborne now being affected by the new resilience effect, we'll make adjustments to heroes whose combo relies on airborne to minimize the impact, while providing other compensatory buffs to heroes whose feature is airborne but doesn't affect their combo. So like off the top of my head, Guinevere ult is airborne. I wonder if that's like fucked now. Kadita knockup. Who else? Minotaur ult is airborne, the third phase. Edith is airborne, the first skill. So Saber and Kalea are exempted from that change. It's stated in the battlefield adjustments, but it didn't say here. The Saber and Kalea ults will remain the same exact time. They aren't registered as the same thing. So new hero Zetian. I'm just gonna do a quick glance because I'd rather see it in game. Increased spell to hitting enemy heroes with Phoenix Strike, Phoenix Ascent, power. This isn't a hero review video. You guys probably already know. There's no point in reading words when you could show in game. Rafaela. I'm not gonna read all the words. So her passive got reworked. At regular intervals, Raf can use a special skill to instantly resurrect a fallen ally. So she's just Mercy. She's just Mercy from Overwatch. She can just like respawn someone. But that's crazy though, no? Basically, like you get one free respawn for someone that dies. Now, brief channeling, I don't know if that means that if you have to be next to their body or if you could do it from anywhere. So it's based both on cooldown and the respawn remaining time on the revived hero. It's not affected by cooldown reduction, which is good. So it's a separate cooldown reduction, a separate cooldown entirely. It's probably going to be the button that like Beatrix has to change her gun, like that button, or like Floor and Orb is probably going to be that button. And you just cast it when someone's dead. I hope you have to be next to them. Except, I don't know. That's weird. But definitely just a buff overall to her. It's pretty interesting. And your skill 1 gets a reduced cooldown late game. It does less damage. I'm just gonna look at the changes. 80% speed boost, so you're a lot faster now after you get your passive procced. The first basic attack, camouflage state, reduces all skill cooldowns by 1 second. So it's a bigger buff to initial impact because instead of 2 autos, it's 1. But you'd rather have late game when you have a higher attack speed it to be the previous one. But it's supposedly to help its early game, I guess. Or the one-shot potential. So skill 1 cooldown gets a little later in late game. Armor charge interval in the camouflage state. I don't know what that means. Reduce force swing, that's good. Force swing, if you didn't know, is basically when you cast a skill, sometimes there's delay and you think it's lag, but that's just built in. It's a built-in delay in the game. so that is shorter. And skill 2 cooldown gets lowered slightly, and ultimate cooldown gets lowered slightly. I don't know. I don't think this is going to bring him on back, but it'll certainly make him more interesting. Arlott, thank God they buffed him. Oh my goat. Let's see what the buffs are. So the HP, they basically reverted it to how Arlott used to be, where he had a flat healing. And then... Actually, was it ever like this? Maybe I'm wrong. So instead of purely scaling on physical, it now scales on base and then physical. So it's to incentivize tank Arlott a little more. I'm actually wrong. Before it used to scale on HP and not damage at all. So this is completely different. So now you gain a brief significant move speed boost when hitting marked targets. That's nice because Arlott has a problem with getting out of situations. So now if you hit a mark, you can try to run. You get a little bit of move speed. That's kind of nice. Now ultimate leveling up reduces your passive cooldown by 1 second. If you didn't know, Arlott will just apply a mark right next to you if you're the closest hero to him. And that refreshed every 7 seconds. Now that's going to get reduced by 1 second each. So it'll go all the way down to 4 seconds at max ult level. How this impacts him, I don't know, but noticing that first upgrade after you hit level 4 will be noticeable for sure. Late game, it probably won't matter as much, but it'll definitely be noticeable hitting the first 2 levels on the ult. Leslie, passive adjusted, converting from physical pen to crit damage. Now each 1% instead of 0.5% converts. So basically building penetrations better on Leslie now. After entering camouflage, okay, that's kind of nice because a lot of times like you would have minion autos flying through the air that would just cancel your camouflage right away. So that's a nice quality of life adjustments, and you just get crit chance more with your ults. That's nice as well. Ixia buffs. Lower basic attack range. She did have very far basic attack range. New effects. Siphon Starlium. Reduce the target's move speed by 25% for 1 second upon hit. So you just slow enemies with auto attacks? Does this have a cooldown? That seems kind of insane, no? Or is that only when you affect the passive? I'm going to assume it's only when you affect the passive, so it's nice for kiting and chasing. Skill 1, you get more move speed or hitting, and it's slightly wider, and so it's easier to hit. And it casts faster, which is nice. But it does not slow the enemy heroes. So basically the slow is put on her passive, albeit a little less, but more consistent. And skill 1 will make you faster. So it's fine. It's an adjustment. Ultimate, greatly reduced cooldown, which is good. Her ultimate did have way too long of a cooldown. That's pretty good buff for Ixia. I don't know if it'll make her meta, but definitely better. Bruno, so you need less stacks now, and your skills cost less mana. Pretty simple. So Natan. Okay, so they got rid of that change. Wait, what did they even do to Natan? Basically nothing, no? Weren't they gonna make it where he refreshes stacks upon autos, but they just like didn't do that. They just reduced it by 1. Like, this is a pointless change. This is not gonna do anything. This is a garbage change. Wait, am I like stupid? Did they add that and I just didn't know about it? There's no way, right? I want to see his passive. If time is a river, I'm swimming against oh, you know, hitting an enemy does refresh entanglement's duration. What was this a thing before? And just nobody played him still? Was it that bad? Okay, so it's just a buff then. Never mind. They did go through with that change. I guess I just did not know. Wow. I thought I knew. It was so insignificant that I didn't even know they did it. I thought that was gonna make him crazy, but apparently it didn't matter. Nobody played him. Maybe that's why they played him in like ID playoffs. I remember now. I think AE did. Okay, Livia. The skill 2 gets big reduced cooldown at all levels to 6 seconds instead of 10 at level 1. Mana cost gets reduced a bit as well. The damage is actually buffed. Wow, surprising. It scales a lot better now, which is very good. But the growth per level is reduced. So basically, you don't have to have max bombs to do max damage. They're gonna make it do a little more damage and be less reliant on the bombs. Oh, but since the cooldown gets significantly nerfed, they changed it where you don't get 50% recharge, you get 20%. So this is like overall an adjustment. I don't know if it's an actual it probably is a buff for sure, but I don't know if it's a big buff. I don't play Kadita enough to tell you that. Hoon probably could. Kadita! So, one of the heroes that does do knockup affected by the change. More base move speed to rotate, probably faster. Slightly less dashing speed. Okay, so, and the airborne delay is lowered. What does that mean, airborne delay? Like how much they're airborne for? And the forward swing for the ult's a lot shorter. Oh, okay, so the airborne delay is shortened and will be affected by resilience, but you cast your ult slightly faster, probably to compensate. Kag gets a passive buff. A quite big passive buff, wow. For 280 to 450, it's pretty big. Oh, that's a shield. Okay, so a lot more sustain then with that change. And then your brief control immunity effect when removing debuffs. So when you do the skill 2 to remove effects, because it's basically a purify, you're basically immune for like a, I don't know what time frame. But a lot of times what would happen is you would use the umbrella to immune CC effect right away, but you wouldn't even go back because you get hit with another CC effect. So you just get like insta cancel. Lunox. What is this? I don't know. I might be too tired to understand this. Okay, so I think the light form, so when you dark form ult, what I think this means, I don't understand. Skill 3 is not the ults. Is it the ult? I think it's the ult. Am I really gonna check right now, man? Oh, actually, I don't have to go to, like, skill layouts, mage. So this is called Order and Chaos, Cosmic Fission. How do you, like, swap it? Chat, hello? Or not chat, what am I saying? I'm actually losing my mind. Man, I have to, like, read them. So I don't know. No. Okay, so it is the ult. Power, Chaos, Darken. So I'm assuming after you use this, your first skill will have like a delay, but it'll have the same amount of cooldown now as your dark when you're spamming it. But they changed it to where you wouldn't be fucked as soon as you use it and you can't go to light right away. But now you can go dark, and then even if you do a dark bullet, you can press the light right away anyway, and you can, but you can't, but then the delay actually ensues after that. So you can't just go back and forth, back and forth. If that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm confusing it. Let's just go back and move on. Odette. Reduce force swing of the stun or snare, and the ult costs less mana, or all her skills cost less mana. Roger. Remove the basic attack backswing. That's a big change. So in the human form, when you attack, he would do like an animation where he's like go like pow, and then the bullet goes out. But they remove that animation, so now it'll just go on the bullet right away. So pow, 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 instead of doing like pow, pow, pow. So you'll notice that being a little faster when you just press attack right away. So the... Oh, that's a backswing, not foreswing. So backswing is after you auto, then you do the next auto. Okay, never mind, I'm wrong. But the foreswing of skill 1 in human form will not have the interesting foreswing. So, but he'll feel smoother to play, essentially. The ultimate gets reduced cooldown again. Wait, Roger might be back. The ultimate getting a reduced cooldown is like really what defines it. So that might be good enough to make him back to meta again. Hellcurt, attribute attack growth gets lowered, so he does less damage early game. New effect, reveals the position of terrified enemies. So whenever you walk next to Hellcurt and he terrifies, is like when he gets that movement speed boost and you see the bar go down. So now if you ever trigger that, because you see vision of him, it will reveal your position. So now he can basically like face check, and then he knows who sees him, which is actually a really interesting dynamic. Okay, Lancelot's increased damage from skill 1. So the mark duration shorter. Wow, this is just a buff to Lance. It's a big buff. Only really skilled Lancelots are going to be able to use that though, but it is a big buff. The reset mark on his dash will be from 5 to 3 seconds, so he'll get that reset a lot faster, meaning you're going to see a Lance go shing 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 a lot more often. So Gus, skill 2 cooldown reduced to 9 seconds, so 2 seconds early game, and then the ult gets a big cooldown reduction. And the second dash of the ult gets buffed a bit. So buffed to him. Nolan gets an energy regen buff, so he's not so reliant on blue buff. And he clears better now because it gets his skills back faster. And then the combo as well. So Nolan, pretty sizable buff. Yuzong! Ultimate, you get a bigger HP boost. And you get more efficiency. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if he gets more HP from healing or if it heals faster, just as efficiency. Mincetar. Base damage, passive, base regen. Oh, the healing when the passive triggers. Skill 1, damage bonus changes. Who cares? This isn't enough to make him good. Borg! Number of rotations, 7 to 14, so it doubles the amount of rotations that do damage, I presume. Rotation damage gets slightly nerfed, but it also probably helps more in the end. New effect, Faragro supplies affecting the ultimate will not be absorbed. When ultimate ends, all nearby Faragro supplies will be absorbed immediately. So that basically means once you go into like a big team fight, you're going to proc your passive a bunch of enemies. A lot of the little power cells will drop. Then after your ult goes out, it'll pick up all the nearby power cells. So maybe if you drop enough, you can get your armor back right away. Uranus. Since when did Uranus basic attacks give him extra auto damage? I never knew that was a thing. Or was that like, did that just now become a thing? Okay. New effect, skill 1 deals extra damage equal to radiant stacks. Oh, wow. Wait. I don't know if it's that a buff or not. Because the old Uranus first skill, you can get up to like 320% bonus damage. Or something like that. Does this stack really compensate to that same extent? If it does the same amount, it would be insane, but I doubt it. It probably does a lot less, but that might be pretty big for Uranus coming back to the meta. It's an overall, like, this is really good change to Uranus. Like, if it really depends how much damage that first skill gets. I don't see the math. Is it literally straight up multiplied by 16? I don't know if that compares to 320%. I'm not a mathematician, but we'll see. Lapu. So your first skill, I think that's the stun. Gets a shorter cooldown, 7 seconds. And the skill 2 as well goes to 6 to 4. Your damage reduction goes 4 to 3. But the... Oh, nice. So, before, when you get the damage reduction in the enhanced form of Lapu, it was 10% for each hero you hit. Now it's 30% for the first hero hit, and every hero after that is 8%. So, you can get an extra 32% damage reduction, plus 30% if you hit all 5 people. You get up to 60% damage reduction if you hit 5 people with that second skill. Even 2 is fine. 2, like, if you hit 3, 46%, it's still a lot more damage reduction. Terizla, I don't think this is enough to make a meta. Faster clear, slightly less cooldown skill 1. It's not enough. Aikido gets a change. That doesn't seem like enough either. It's pretty noticeable in the ult cooldown reduction, but I don't think it matters. Ruby Spell Vamp. Scales with level. Is that like insane? She basically just gets an extra 15% spell vamp, no? She'll heal a lot more. So Aldous gets a mana change. Who cares? Esme ultimate will cost less mana and have a faster cooldown. Pretty good. Oh my, Candelea nerfs. So the passive no longer does a knockback effect when you hit someone. And the damage does less damage. Bars. Base damage, skill 1 gets lowered quite a bit. The skill 2 distance gets lowered as well, and the ult distance. It's just a big nerf. She'll probably still be meta in pro play, but still a very big nerf to her. Lucas gets a lot more resolve per half as much resolve per second. Oh, okay. So what would happen is you would die as Lucas in your beast form, and then you would just if you had a long enough respawn timer, you would just spawn with it back because it was refueling when you were dead. But now it won't refuel while you're dead anymore, so you'll spawn and not have it up. That's a pretty big. They basically like, that's a hard nerf to Lucas. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna get it half as fast naturally, and you're not gonna have it as soon as you spawn. But when you upgrade your ults, you get more resolve. Okay, so basically, you're punished more early game for dying, but late game, the resolve gained from the ultimate upgrades will basically like counteract the nerf. The skill 1 damage is lowered slightly. It won't matter for Lucas's Fed still though. Haya gets a slight damage nerf with the ults. The extra damage per stack is increased, but the base damage is nerfed a little bit. And the extra damage scales a little more in physical attack. So your stacks actually matter now, basically. Kimmy, ultimate nerf. Just the ultimate, wow. So the range reduced by 10%. And, okay, so just an ult nerf, cooldown in the range. Selena, the ultimate will not be as short as a cooldown late game, and now you get a little magic power. That's fine. It's not a big enough change. Fanny gets a buff. What are they buffing? So the cables cost more energy, actually. The first skill will cost less, and the ult will cost less. I think this is a nerf because you need to shoot a lot of cables as Fanny. Maybe you have to be more efficient now with shooting your cables. I'm not a Fanny player, I can't tell you. Okay, so now it's using skill 2. I didn't even know it revealed the entire bush before. That's crazy. I thought this is how it worked before. That's how it always works now. Or thank God they did that. That's actually disgusting. So LUOYI during the ultimates. Wait, what? That's terrible. LUOYI's like garbage. Why would they do this change? Like, this is disgusting. You basically just know when LUOYI's TPing, so you just play safe. Bro, what? Why would they? That's such a freaky change. Just nerf the range or something. What? That's so bad. It's basically only be like a ranked hero. Like competitive, as soon as someone says that, it's like, oh, LUOYI's ulting. Like, it's only really not going to be noticeable if like a fight is happening right then. To where it's like, oh, okay. Like, you won't really be able to call it out. But like, a backdoor play, you know, it's like impossible. Chip now has the teleport has a force swing. Dude, they did the same thing to Chip. Wow, they just killed the Chip LUOYI like unpredictability. They actually just killed it. This like kills Chip and LUOYI in pro play, by the way. But now when Chip TPs across the map, it reveals him. It reveals him. Like, what? I pray with the Chip thing, if you conceal, it'll counteract that. So that way it's like, unless they're paying super smart attention, but these are like these destroy these heroes. These changes destroy these two heroes. I don't know how this went through. So Estes, I mean, the Chip one's actually kind of fine, now that I think about it, because Chip, you can just walk there. You just have to walk there now. You can't use the TP. The TP feature is going to be purely for macro, like if you're doing something unexpected. But if you want to do like a late game, you know, TP all of a sudden really quick to the opposite side and try and backdoor and ult the first enemy, that's going to be really obvious. Estes. So the healing in Estes ultimate is, I'm not going to look through all this math. Basically, like, because of the healing adjustments, they gave his first skill a little stronger hybrid defense as well, and the ultimate gets nerfed, whatever. Matilda, skill 2 shield gets nerfed, thank God. Matilda is too strong. Florin, oh my God, thank God they did this. So the ult no longer removes anti-heal, so anti-heal will affect you even through the ult. The ult will give you a 12% healing bonus, but that's not going to counteract the 40% healing reduction. So fat nerf on Florin. Fuck all you Florin 1 tricks, especially like the ones who are just dual queuing with the dual queuing E-daters spamming Florin. Disgusting. I hate seeing that shit. Angela nerf because of the healing changes, makes sense. Basha will do less healing reduction, that's fine. Barats gets an adjustment, less resilience per stack. Okay, so you don't get resilience per stack, you get resilience at max stacks, and then you get more defense per stack. That's fine buff. Ling Okay, so the knockup effect is shortened, but they are slowed they are slowed as well. But it's still going to be a nerf for Ling, basically, because you'll have time to flicker out as soon as you're knocked up. Like, shorter time. Kufra, also the knockup. Okay, so... Wow. So basically, there's like a small force swing. There's like a animation when you hit someone and knock them up before you can cast anything else. They're reducing that by 60%. That way, when you do that, you can cast your ult faster right away. Or you can do anything faster right away. Because if they kept the resilience changes in, you could just never combo on Kufra anymore. Because I forgot, that's a knockup. So Minotaur also as well, the knockup gets compensated. But he gets just instead a lot of base stat increase. I think that's fine. Atlas requires new effect on Airborne. He can now freeze enemies faster. Interesting. Interesting change, I guess. Basically, this just counteracts the resilience change. It gets just gets increased. This basically means nothing changes with Gwyn. Vale, nothing changes. Hanzo gets a nerf? What? It's just his first skill clear. That's crazy. I don't think he deserves a nerf. Freya gets a nerf. Wow. Oh, I guess Freya's clear speed with the new changes were too fast, so she gets a nerf to clear. So does Alpha. So does Jawhead. All these changes. This is just nerf for clear speeds to junglers. Jawhead, Julian, Alucard. What? Alucard got buffed, actually. Alucard, Sun, and Saber jungle clear get buffed. But Julian, Jawhead, it's such a random selection of heroes. Freya, Julian, Alpha, Jawhead get their clear speed reduced. Alpha's noticeable because Alpha actually would be super strong clearing. Like, that I understand. But, like, Julian? Jawhead? Like, yeah, in ranked. Very weird changes. Okay. Anywho, that is a long hero patch notes. And there's a lot of changes that I am very excited to play and test. I will probably be streaming tomorrow. I will see you guys all there. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Like the video, sub if you watched to the very end. Crazy patch, very interesting. I'm going to bed now at 3 a.m. It took me a whole hour to record both review videos. So please sub, please like, all that good stuff. I will see you all later on stream. Bye bye.